What do you consider dance?
What do I consider dance? I think like the technical thing would be like movement in time, but I think any sort of physical expression, something that's like an expression that's physicalized or actualized through movement, happiness that you jump around or sadness you lay down.
Why did you choose dance as your medium for expressing your ideas, your creative ideas, your thoughts, your...
I sort of felt in a way that at the beginning dance sort of chose me. There was just this like, I had always been dancing, just jumping around as a kid, and so there was something, maybe some natural like calling to me. And then when I chose to like make it as a career and make it as a study, I think I chose it because it has so much. There's so much like the responsibility of the craft is like within the person. So like as you change as a person, so does your craft of dance, and then the craft of dance can change you as a person. So I like this idea of and the practice of like changing yourself and through a study, and then having the study actually change you as well.
So like having a more like a physical change then rather than like something like saying art, like a...
Yeah, I think, well not just like physical like my body, but just like, but that, I mean the dance is like a whole body experience. It's like mind, body, energy, the whole thing. And also, I think that dance, because it's a social form, I was interested in that. It's a way to have a family and a family of friends, connections like that.
How do you create a piece? What is your process as an artist? And how do you get your message across? Loaded threesome.
Okay, so first part, how do I create a piece? I guess right now, I think about what I want to say, what I want to show, what I want to express, what's the point, why am I doing this? And then I think about the ways in which I can articulate that the clearest through the movements that I do, or the materials I work with, or the scenario I present, the environment I create. And then I go into sort of like a space of, I guess, improvisation where I like to, or I work with materials or with movement and find the character of the interaction between the two that sort of fits. Well, it just goes like that. Like I improvise, but I'm hoping that that whatever sort of movement improvisation that comes out, it is it's not just totally free, but that it'll maybe the movement will take on the tone of the piece or the idea. So like I like to try and find like sort of like if I'm interested in like making something about disappointment, I like to try and find movements that have will create a scenario of disappointment in my body, so that I will actually be experiencing disappointment, and someone will actually watch and say, oh, that's really disappointment, not the acting of disappointment.
The work that I've seen of you and stuff that you've done in the past, you generally have some sort of prop element or some sort of element of material.
Right.
That's a better word for it.
Yeah.
And do you feel that is intrinsic in your work, and does that make it? And do you feel that you need those things to give the message or give the ideas?
I feel in many respects that the materials that I bring into the work are, because right now I feel like I have primarily a solo practice, and I feel like the materials I bring into the work are like my duetting partners. Like they sort of stand in for the other dancers that I could bring into work, and then I would dance with the dancers, and then we would have some relationship where if I'm bringing in like rope, or I'm bringing in a sheet of mylar, or I'm bringing these are my partners, and so I'm.
So it's like almost an economical.
Yeah.
That's very.
It's a little bit.
Being creative on the economical.
And also, I love that the like sort of the character metaphor with like inherent in materials, like rope, like has like there's just so much symbolism, and then the touch of the rope, and the way the rope moves, and then where you can put the rope on your bodies. I mean, it speaks of this like character, and I like trying to access that down to it. So what inspires me as a choreographer or an artist as sort of being a silent witness to the sometimes random, sometimes hilarious, sometimes sad events and passages in life that like I'm watching and they don't, and people don't know I'm watching them, or sort of being like a spy on the outside. So those are sort of the events, and I see these moments that just are so poetic and they're so like simple, and then to take that idea and put it into some performance is helpful. But I get a lot of inspiration artistically from visual artists. Right now I'm very much interested in Bruce Nauman, who's an American artist who's still alive, and he worked a lot in the 60s and 70s conceptualism, and he sort of was this jack of all trades, and I like that about him. I like that his practice sort of defied the necessity for a category, and what was strong about his work is the idea. The idea is first. The idea can take a shape in video, or the idea can take a shape in sculpture or painting, which he's done all of. But it's the idea for him is the most important, and I like that. I like that practice, and I look up to that.
And how do you translate that into your own work?
Well, I think for me, in the case of modeling or being interested in this specific artist practice, it sort of gives me encouragement, I guess, because if I feel like I'm on a similar path, or I'm on a path that maybe isn't the traditional, normal way to make a dance, and I can look at someone who I admire that didn't sort of go in that traditional way and has been able to successfully express their idea, and I feel like I can find encouragement to maybe try doing the same.
You had to create a piece about a vegetable. What vegetable, and how would you go about doing it?
About a vegetable. Like one of those baseball bat zucchinis. They're like these huge zucchinis. I just think they're kind of goofy. They're kind of clown.
What color are they?
They're green.
They're green.
They're like a giant zucchini, but just like massive. And I think they're just goofy and pulpy. And I probably would use the zucchini as a bat, and I would hit things with it.
So you would bring the vegetable on stage.
Yeah. I'm going to be dancing with the.
You wouldn't try to personify it or anything like that.
No.
You would have a relationship.
It's on the stage. We are dancing with it. Yeah, that's I think what I would say.